Welcome back, and you're watching Breakfast Show on Now TV International, and it's time for our first segment, and in it we will be discussing the outcome of the visit of the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán to Egypt. And in that meeting with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, actually the two countries signed around 5 memoranda of agreements, including military agreements as well, and to shed more light on that topic, as well as on the visit of the President of the European Bank to Egypt. We have with us in the studio Dr. Mohamed Abu Said, and he is an Oscar winner in the field of business administration and a business administration professor. Welcome with us. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir. Sir, a very important visit, a 3-day official visit by the Hungarian Premier. Several meetings took place, and he also was accompanied by a high-level delegation. As Russia said, several MOUs were signed. If you can tell us about the significance of this visit and whether it's a win-win situation for both countries, if you can tell us more.
Sure. There is no doubt that this visit is a payback to what His Highness President el-Sisi did last year by visiting their country. So they came with a very high official delegates, very high-ranked people, with a group of CEOs and CFOs, decision makers in both public and private companies operating back there. There's no doubt that this visit is a goal for this visit. It's aiming to improve the relationship, the bilateral relationship, both economic and political, and also to have an economic tie with Egypt. And this is highly reflected, crystal clear case by the nature of people and the number of people, the different discipline of the group accompanied by His Highness the Prime Minister.
Supporting what you said, the Hungarian Premier has said that Egypt is one of the strongest economies and one of the most strategic countries in the region.
That's correct. They are in the same position as Egypt right now. We all understand that they were belonging to Russia and the communists, and then they had their revolution after the fall down of the system. They were separated, and they have the revolution in 1989. And they work very hard toward the 6 or 7 economical parameters: export, increasing the export, decreasing the import, decreasing the unemployment, improving their GDP, and improving their economy and economical growth. And that's why they were qualified in 2004 to be a member in the European Union. They look at Egypt as a strategic alliance in the area. We, as Egypt, there's no doubt that His Highness President el-Sisi and his group have a target not to depend on one alliance. And that's reflected by several visits that he is doing for the last 2 years, going to Africa, going to Far East, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, North and South America. He's going everywhere trying to build hubs at several places, trying to make alliances. And during his last visit, he developed the business relationship and the political relationship with Hungary, because we have a very old relationship with these guys, and that was expressed by the speech of His Highness el-Sisi and the Prime Minister, when they both said we have a strong relationship for a long time, since 1938. And there is a very good information. I found out that Hungary opened its first embassy in Egypt outside Europe and America. The first one in the Middle East and North Africa was in Egypt. There was a very good relationship even during Abdel Nasser time and all the way till today. So they look at Egypt as a very strategic alliance in the region, and we all know that if you have a good relationship with Egypt, this means that you have a good relationship with the Gulf area, with North Africa.
Well, Doctor, for the president, during the speech which he made following the meeting, he mentioned that he is intending to make Egypt an open economy and a free market. Now, are we ready for that, and what do we need?
Okay, again, they want us to follow the same example as they did. They went to the open economy in the mid-90s, and that helped them to progress and join the European Union. In order to become a member of the international economical regime, you have to follow specific steps. You have to be competent to the system. So in order to reach to this level and to be having an open economy and follow that, we have 6-7 parameters that we have to work on. We started. It is very obvious that His Highness Al-Sisi and his group is targeting to have a better economy for this country. So they are trying so hard to do several things. We need to spend more effort in, for example, the corruption. The corruption index, Egypt now is number 83 out of 167. We jumped from 87 to 83 in the last 2 years, which is fantastic. We are not yet in the proper position that Egypt should be in. Like, for example, Qatar is 22. We should be I wouldn't say the best one in the world. America is number 17. So, but we need to get closer and closer by spending an effort to decrease the corruption and fight it. By improving the export, we need to work hard, and no one can click a button to do that. It's a long-term strategy. It needs a lot of procedures and a lot of actions to be taken, and that will take us to a situation where we will be following the open market economy, be successful, reach
eradicating bureaucracy.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that is the main item that the Prime Minister of Hungary faced against the European Union. They attack him or attack the whole system by saying that they have less democracy than the rest of the European Union countries, and he fight back very sharply in a meeting not that far, and he defends that the democracy in his country is progressing to a specific level that should be accepted by the European Union.
Also, sir, if we can shed more light on the military cooperation, because two important events are taking place. Of course, the MOU that was signed by the Hungarian Prime Minister with the Egyptian, the Hungarian Defense Minister with his Egyptian counterpart, and also the First Lieutenant General Sidi Sobhi is in France to sign the Mistral deal with France. How do you see this?
Sure. One of the very important thing that Hungary is doing is the industrial economy. They have a very strong army, not the strongest. They were ranked in 2013 and in the late 40s over the globe.
So but we're among the top 10, I believe.
Yes. They are members in the NATO. They are members in the UN. So they would not be qualified to be a member with the NATO and the UN army, to use their army, unless they have a specific strength at some points, to some points. So they spend a good amount of money in having, it's an updated army, no doubt about that. So, and they manufacture some stuff, and that's why I think we have several cooperative agreements between our Egyptian army and their army, and we make a lot of practical sessions with them, and we are planning to do more. So their army is strong relative to the surrounding area compared to other countries. Hungary is not a big country. It's like there are 10 million people, almost 10 million people. It's a small in terms of area. So with this army for this specific country, I think they did a good progress in the last decade.
Dr. Mohamed, also there were other memorandums of agreements with concentration on transportation. Why transportation in particular?
Okay. As I said, that the industrial economy, their GDP, there is more than 50% is coming from their industrial economy. One of the major advantages or the skills they have is the manufacture of transportation, means of transportation. They are excellent in car making. For a long time, they have a good history in car making. Even in all Europe, in Germany, in Western Europe, they believe in what they call, if it is the same, why pay more? What does that mean? If I can buy a Porsche or Mercedes from Hungary, made the same quality, but much cheaper workforce, labor, so, excuse me, so I can pay less and get the same quality, and that's why we have several
the big names,
international manufacturers,
big names decided to outsource in Hungary.
Absolutely, and currently, not currently, for the last 2-3 years, Mercedes and Porsche and some others are opening factories in the Hungarian market, are letting them to produce cars under their brand, and it's a cheap, same quality, so why not?
And also, sir, speaking about other than the automotive industry, what do you believe in other fields that Egypt can gain the expertise from in regards to Hungary, other than the automotive industry and of course the military cooperation?
Yes. I think that it's not just an economical advantages that we are dealing with them. They are not a huge country. We are not saying they are having a very, very strong economy. Their economy jumped in the last 5-6 years, which is great, and we want to follow the same example. The military is very important. The car making, the trains, they make trains, they make subground trains. So we can use this. Their agriculture is representing, I think, about 5% of their GDP. So there is no huge agriculture, and that's due to the nature of the country and the area of the country. So I think the most promising thing, the most promising items that we can exchange and get advantage of is the military and the equipment they are making, the transportation, and so on.
Actually, they will be supplying Egypt with 700 train carriages at a cost of almost 900 billion.
That's correct. They are very specialized. They built the first subway train in the land of Europe. The first ever in the land of Europe were built by them. So they are very specialized in doing these things. And that's one of the things. They also signed an agreement to invest in the new Suez Canal project. So that's also a good thing. We are looking for investors. Egypt is looking for investors. And if we can have
the opportunity.
Absolutely. So if we can have this opportunity, even if it is not huge and like a booming one, but on a scale, currently we are facing a lot of problems with Europe and with other regions within the world. We are trying to improve our situation. So why not? I have an alliance that can help me, not just economically, not too much economically, but they can help us in the political situation. We can improve our political situation within Europe. Lately, we are struggling a bit with all the occasions and circumstances that happened in the last 6-8 months, and we are trying to find someone to help. Now, Hungary have an excellent relationship with their neighbor, with all the ex-USSR members, Ukraine, Romania, Slovakia, all their neighbors. They have an excellent relationship. So the same way we think, exactly as their prime minister think, if I can have Egypt as an alliance, I will have a good relationship with their neighbor. We think the same way. If we can have a good relationship with Hungary, we will be transferring our message easily and widely in Eastern Europe by having a good relationship with these guys.
Well, actually, this visit coincided with also a meeting which was held by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Tuesday with the President of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. The significance of the meeting with the President of the European Bank, especially that now Egypt has been listed as one of the beneficiaries of the European Bank, that now we are on the list of the countries that can be given loans and financed, and that's since last October.
That's absolutely correct. It's one other positive point, one other nice step that this bank, the European Bank, took a decision to make Egypt as one, as they call it, an operation country.
Yes.
So they can conduct operation in it. Mm-hmm. This decision didn't come from the air. It comes after studying political, economical, social. They studied a lot of things. The last year decisions, continuous upgrading coming from the central bank, all of these decisions.
And also, I believe the Standard & Poor's credit rating also.
Absolutely, absolutely. All of these steps comes as positive points, helping this European Bank to take a decision. Let's make Egypt as one of our operating countries, and that will, one very big advantage of that is that it will help investors to look at, the European Bank selected Egypt as an operation country, let us go and invest there. This reflects the positive environment that we have. I'm not saying we have the best environment for investing, but we are improving, we are spending an effort to do that. The visit at this particular time will encourage people from all over the globe, investors, to look at Egypt as a positive alliance that they can invest their money and come and help our economy.
Sir, I was speaking about the cons. Do you believe that such a decision will pave the way for austerity measures and so on and so forth?
That is happening everywhere. In order to
but
be
do you
a
think
member,
this will be acceptable by the people?
Here you go. The disadvantage, I wouldn't call it a disadvantage, but of course the people here in Egypt will be affected a bit negatively by following the constraints that this bank and all other international
IMF.
organization, IMF or others, they have very restricted rules. In order to be under their umbrella, you have to follow these rules. To follow these rules, you have to do some economical steps and take decisions that will affect the population here, the normal people, income and taxes and
the lower and the middle class.
Absolutely. You are not talking about the high level, you are talking about middle and lower level people. They will be affected. So here comes the wise decisions of the decision makers, like the top people and the people responsible for the economy. That what to follow, it has to be very relaxed and very flexible decisions that we need to take to make this party happy, but not hurting my population to a great extent. So it's like it has to be a balance.
Strike a balance.
Absolutely.
Well, Doctor, also following the meeting with the President of the European Bank, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, he voiced his appreciation for the role played by the European Bank here in Egypt, especially in supplying jobs for youth and in supporting small and medium enterprises. Now, the importance of supporting the small and medium enterprises for the Egyptian economy, would you elaborate on that, please?
Absolutely. I'll give you a classic example that is taught everywhere, which is China. In 2012, China had 202 billionaires. In 2014, there is an organization that announced that's coming from Forbes, like an international organization that mentioned how many billionaires in each country. In 2014, they jumped to 440, doubled in 3 years. What happened? The Chinese government have encouraged the medium level, the low level investors and factories and organizations.
To further invest.
Absolutely, to invest more. They help them. They make them pay less tax. They make them improve their investment scenarios, and they progress too much. What we have double the number of millionaires, and that will help a lot. And if I have a lot of investors, I will have a lot of economical growth. I will have more exports, less imports. I will help the unemployment. That's what happened in China, and we want to take this example. So when the president of the European Bank is saying that he is trying to help us to help these two categories, medium and low level, in order to jump up a little bit, which will help us in improving all. It's a circle. It's a circle. If you improve one thing, this will go.
It's like a economical cycle. Yes, it's a domino effect.
Here you go. So this guy will affect this guy, will affect this parameter and this parameter. Everything will come up. The economical growth will come up. The GDP will come up, and all the parameters will come up. The corruption index will go down. The unemployment will go down, and that's what we are looking for.
Doctor, unfortunately, we're running out of time, but we do appreciate your insight. Dr. Mohamed Abu Said, Oscar winner and a business administration professor. Thank you so much for being with us on The Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
And dear viewers, a short break, and we'll be back to resume the remaining segments of The Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International.